The alarm came way too early on a Friday morning, but my truck was already loaded. So I jumped in and made the 6-hour drive to the put-in for Daddy's Creek. I'm about to meet Kirk Eddlemon, Jordan Mikle, and the rest of the crew for a unique kayak camping adventure.
In 1,000 feet, turn right.
A chance meetup on the Elk River years ago is the only time I've paddled with Kirk. He was there when I ran my biggest waterfall. He is a true ambassador for the sport of whitewater, as well as one of the best around. And I reached out to Kirk as I had been getting a lot of requests for trip guiding and for kayak instruction. And so my main goal on this trip is to highlight Ace Kayaking School's Kirk Eddlemon and his winter kayak camping clinic as an option for those looking for kayak instruction, as well as a guided trip through one of the prettiest places on the planet. I can think of nobody better for both of these things than Kirk.
So we're here at Nemo Bridge. The crew is loading up the boats, and then we will be heading upstream to get on Daddy's Creek. You see the Obed down there? I'm gonna stick close, make sure we get these boats on there. Oh, that's a professional rig right there. We're ready. Okay, so we've made it to Daddy's Creek. They're getting the boats unloaded, and the water is beautiful. Really green blue water. Looks like it's gonna be an awesome trip. We do have a bunch of rain coming. We're supposed to maybe get up to an inch or so tonight, which would spike the river tomorrow. And so tomorrow may be kind of a bigger day. Just depends on what this rain does. So get some gear on, get the boat down to the river, and start paddling.
The plan was simple. We needed to get on the water and get down through the more technical Class 3-4 creeking section of Daddy's Creek. Once we were past the more technical section of the creek, any rise in the river due to rain would be more manageable for the crew. There was John and Nick and Mikey. John's tough as nails. Nick was the life of the party. And Mikey didn't say much, but he was a solid paddler and a great guy. And then there was Adam and Jordan. Jordan was assisting Kirk with the group, and Adam and I would paddle a lot of rapids together. Rounding out the crew was Marcia, a fantastic paddler, good company, and an inspiration. And of course there's Kirk Eddlemon. Following Kirk is like watching a video tutorial on proper stroke that never ends. Undoubtedly, he's the most graceful paddler I've ever seen. That was us, and this is how we started, following the dark hues of this blue-green ribbon into the canyon that was waiting. Under ominous skies, we started a dance with the river. A dance that would take me on a journey I will never forget. A journey into the Obed.
a fun one.
Left initially, and then move it back right, and then back left.
Right on.
So right where Jordan is, start busting it right.
All right,
And then when you think you're good,
go left. There's a rock. That was the go left part. I was thinking it was down here. Yeah, it got me.
And so all of us and the river got to know each other pretty quickly. It was obvious from the beginning this was going to be a good trip with great company in an incredible place. I was eager to see everything that laid before us, at the same time trying to soak up the moment.
Oh, of course.
And Daddy's Creek would flow for a few miles with good Class 2 flows, and then enter a canyon section where things would get steeper, more constricted, and more technical. At some point, the Daddy's Creek would flow into the Obed. It would then double in size and change in character. We would follow the Obed River at that point through the Obed Canyon. Even further down, Clear Creek would join the Obed River, again doubling the size of the river, and changing again in character into a big water playground. But for now, I was just trying to soak up all the dark corners, this beautiful blue-green water, and the crazy rock formations. Sometimes you think it just can't get better, but it always did. You could feel things getting tighter. The hills were getting steeper. The river was narrowing. And the boulders were getting huge. All signs it's about to pick up. And so right after our first meaty rapid of the trip, Kirk had the gang get out for a little hike to a secret waterfall lunch spot. On a little tributary that you would have just ignored, we hike up just a little ways and get handsomely rewarded. Who wouldn't want to eat lunch under this? It was like a fairy tale oasis, a small creek crashing over the rim into a swimming hole below. And after our lunch at the secret oasis, it was time to get our creaking on. The bell had been rung, and the beast had claimed her toll. What we would come to find out is that the river wanted to pick on John. But he was tough as nails, and he's not a quitter. And when you come into a committed gorge area or canyon or any run where the out is all the way to the bottom, you're going to have to keep your mind right, even if the river doesn't cooperate.
Yes, sir. You feel all right? Good.
And we've all had those days when we just don't paddle our best. I know as well as anyone. And when the run you're on isn't going to end for 3 days, it's time to do battle and find out what you're made of. It all comes down to finding the will to climb back into that boat and take that next first stroke. And sometimes those first strokes bring you to a rapid like Rattlesnake, with the rattle at the top and the fang at the bottom. Rattlesnake is one of the more difficult and fabled rapids of this run. You basically need to get through a juicy hole and then immediately eddy out to the left, and then break through the current and ferry off the fang, where you need to do a flare boof with an edge transition. Sounds easy, right?
Good stuff?
Oh, we got it that time. No, 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 no!
They gonna need help?
The rattle had gotten John. But just as he got washed in there, Kirk had him and pulled him back out. No worse for the wear, and ready to take on Fang.
Yeah, John, way to beast! Way to hang, brother!
There's a lot of colors, I don't know where to go. See a lot of colors, only feeling blue.
That's a good one. Soft.
There's a lot of colors, lost within a haze.
Nailed it.
Don't rely on others to get you through the maze. The dreams are not the same for me.
And John's true colors were showing through now, even though it took a knock on the nose and Fang had left its mark. He found a way to roll himself back up. And almost as a reward for pushing through, we were now dead in the middle of Daddy's Creek Canyon. The sun was trying to poke out, and we were enjoying the spoils of warming weather and no more rain. A few twists and turns, and nice little chutes and slots to paddle through, and we would be at the last tricky rapid of the afternoon.
There are a lot of choices.
One last test for the team before finding camp.
Too many choices, making me afraid. Dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore, while you're on the open sea, cannot take this anymore. The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore.
John decided to walk this one, and Nick, knowing the way, went with him and kept him company.
Beast mode. Yeah, we're having fun now.
There are some rivers that leave a permanent impression on a paddler, and this is one of them.
Shade of blue, but always remind me of you.
That blue-green water, the massive boulder gardens, the towering canyon walls, and the quality white water were simply amazing, and it strung together a day that you just wish did not have to end.
Dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore, while you're on the open sea, cannot take this anymore. The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore, while you're on the open sea, cannot take this anymore. Cannot take this anymore. Cannot take this anymore.
It's a thing of beauty in here, man. Uh-oh. Come on, John. Very nice.
And as we came around the corner, you could look up from the river at the canyon wall on the left and see the rock roof that would be home for the night.
Alright, so we got two choices. I can run up there and check it out. Y'all can hang out. Shop and thorns.
So we found the Gilgamesh roof up there. Pretty sweet piece of rock. So we got a rock roof. As you can see, it's been raining cats and dogs. But it's dry as a bone.
Let's try. I think this is a good
Kirk has provided again. Oh, look at
Look at how
that.
big that is.
Look at that, folks. This. Someone's definitely slept in here before.
Yeah, it's all cleared.
We'll get back in here.
You can put 2 in here and 3 in there easy.
Pretty cool little camping quarters here. That's awesome. All right, so pretty decent little camp. It's kind of rocky and bushy, but we made it work. I was gonna hang right down there on the river, but I just had the heebie-jeebies because it's supposed to rain maybe an inch, and I don't know what that's gonna do to that river. I would probably have been fine, but I really didn't want to move that in the middle of the night during a rainstorm. So I pulled up here, and right behind me I got my camp. I got my hammock under one tarp, and then I kind of have like a living area tarp right beside it, kind of tied in together. If you can see the horizon line way up there, that's the roof, and the cliff has a roof on it, and the rest of the team is just laying in the dirt up there. I'm gonna get my batteries charging, heat the water, throw it in the packet, and then take that up there and eat dinner with the team, hang out with them for a little bit, and then come down here, change, and hit the sack. So I'll need to take my headlamp, food, and some water up there, and the GoPro. Pretty cool camp, amazing day. I'm sure you saw it. This river is fantastic. Daddy's Creek, it's kind of been on my radar for a little bit. It is amazing. It's kind of like, just kind of like real stout Class 3 creeking, at least at this level. Maybe a couple of them are pushing 4, but the rest of it is just solid Class 3 creeking, and it's been a great time. Perfect river for expedition camping. You got the bluffs, the scenery. It doesn't even look real sometimes. And as you can see, the rest of the team has the boats and some of their other gear stashed down here for the night. Should be high enough where the river won't mess with it, but if it does come up, I'll be sure to move them to safety if I wake up in time. I'll start hearing them bang around a little bit. But yeah, let's get this dinner going and get up there before I lose all my light. All right, so I got my dinner in the bag. By the time I get up the hill, it'll be ready. And headlamp, my hot apple cider, and just craggy and rocky. I'm gonna hike right up here to this to the top. We got a little trail. I think I can follow it, but should be good. Here we go. Get up there and eat dinner with the team, hang out with them until it gets a little bit darker, then come wind it all down here at the camp. All right, so I'm up here against the bluff wall. Pretty amazing stuff. And I can hear them up ahead somewhere. You can see the roof coming into view there. The last corner here, and then we'll be under the roof. Hey, I figured I'd come up and eat some dinner with the crew. Pretty sweet up here, ain't it?
Yes, it's awesome. He went
Down further or up?
No, he went there.
Oh, I got you. I thought I heard someone climbing, but I think it may have been water splatter. Right on. And this is... Figured I'd come and hang out.
Dude, I was just saying, man, I can't believe he's not. You may have made the right call. Come up and hang out, and then
Yeah.
skip carrying all the stuff.
Oh yeah, we got us a fire.
Yeah, we're all going to bed. See you in the morning.
Right on. Don't mind me. Oh yeah, these guys living like kings and queens over here.
Get some heat, my man.
This is just fantastic. Look at this. Just amazing. Nice big fire. These guys are doing it right. It's a pretty doggone cool campsite. after having dinner and hanging out with the crew, I came down at about dark after enjoying the fire for a while and whatnot. But I have been in the hammock for 12 and a half hours, and it feels really, really good. I've been asleep for 11 hours. Yeah, we had a nice rain. Woke up a couple times when the rain started. Wasn't crazy, just a nice little shower to put you back to sleep. 2 separate showers. I don't even know how long they lasted. I was just racked out. So I don't think it's going to make a big difference on the river. We shall see. I am a little hungry, so in just a second I'll get up. But I gotta tell you, these quilts from UGQ, you sleep dry. There's no, sometimes in a good insulation you get a little damp from sweat or moisture in there, but these quilts are bone dry. It's like being in an oven. The downside is that you don't want to get out in the morning. You just want to lay here and waste your whole day. I don't know what time they're coming off the hill. I don't want to be the last guy. You know if your stuff's good, because if you have bad gear in the morning, you're either really cold or uncomfortable and you can't wait to get up and start a fire or get moving. When you have the good stuff, you just want to lay here all day because there's no need to get up. So that's where I'm at. But I guess I gotta get moving. So this trip I'm taking the Pelican 1120s. This is my GoPro box. Has all my batteries, any little things I'll need, bunch of SD cards. And if you have one of the newer GoPros, an extra door can be very important. I've learned the hard way. And the other box is, those are the batteries I finished charging last night. Stick those back in here. And then I got my few more accessories, flashlight batteries, couple stickum pads, and another raft power. And so I just bring the 2 raft powers. For a 2-night trip, that's way more than enough. But sometimes with cold, they sap the batteries pretty hard, as well as if something goes wrong with one of them, you have a backup. So anyway, several folks have been asking, what do I take on a trip like this? It really changes from trip to trip depending on how long the trip is and what kind of trip I'm doing. On the long trips, I'll usually run with the voltaic solar charger, but there's place to put that on the boat, and it's a more practical and feasible way of doing it. On a trip like this, where it's not too long, raft power is the way to go. And the small boxes fit inside the whitewater boat as well. So there's camp, kind of in the boulders, and then turn right around, there's all the boats. I'm gonna go down here to the beach. You may be able to see at the distance, I got my bear bag kind of strung in the tree over the river. I'm gonna go recover my food. So I believe the water came up 7 or 8 inches overnight. Rapids look fluffier and better, not quite so technical, but a little more fun, kind of like a little more big water. So we'll see how that does today on the river. So unless the bear can walk on water, that bag's about 10 feet off the ground. Always something to consider. You may have a really tall bear. Oh yeah. Let's make breakfast. I'm not sure if the wind's blowing and it's dripping or if it's starting to drizzle again. Kind of feels like drizzle. But I'm about half packed up. Hot apple cider and everyone's favorite, the breakfast skillet. Kind of keeping it simple. That's good. I don't know if it's because I'm out here, but it tastes extra good this morning. All right, so I'm about half packed up. Hot apple cider, got my breakfast skillet. I'm gonna eat this and finish packing up, have everything staged down there by the boat, and then go join the crew for the rest of the morning up on the cliff face till they're ready to move out. But we had rain last night. I stayed perfectly dry. The reason I didn't go up is because there wasn't a hammock spot conducive to hanging a hammock that was under the roof, so I would have been up there in the rain versus down here in the rain, and I just opted to sit it out here and save myself the trouble of lugging all my gear up there. I had battery boxes, I got all kind of stuff. So I was just a little bit lazy, but it is a very unique and kind of a cool spot up there. If you ever get a chance to stay in something like that, I would highly recommend it. Just a nice little roof. Keep them dry out of the rain. And I'm interested to see how they all slept. I suspect they slept well. All right, well, let me finish eating and get packed up, and I'll go join my friends. All right, folks, that's it. I got things wrapped up. Where was my camp? Important to note, if I had had a hammock collapse, it would have been very memorable and a negative experience. So that's where my hammock was. This is where the gear tarp is. Rushing water all night, I love it. I'm gonna put this stuff down by the boat, head up to the top. All right, so here's where the team's been filling up their water and then treating it, coming off this giant face of cliff. If you know where to look, there's always water, especially if it's been raining. There's the roof the team's camped under. Probably projects 30 feet from the cliff wall or so. Just got to go down here and around the corner and we'll be there in camp. Hey, hey.
Yeah, nice.
Whew.
How you doing this morning?
Well, I never found my camp. I've just been wandering all night looking. Oh, I was doing great. I'm all packed up. Just kind of took it easy this morning.
Cool.
How'd y'all do?
That was good. Yeah.
Right on. The cliff-dwelling tribe. All right, so the team is ready. Everyone down here finishing packing the boats, getting zipped up. The river's still coming up a little bit. It's up a couple inches from the last time I was here. So it's probably come up 10 inches, I'm guessing. I should have stuck a stick in the dirt and I did not. So yeah, let's drag the boat down here to the river and have a little fun. Going to be a good day. We're going to finish up the Daddy's Creek here and we're getting into the Obed River after about, it looked like about 4 miles or so. I'm not 100% sure. 4 or 5 miles we'll be at the Obed River. I've never done that one either. It should be a little bigger, a lot less rocks, a lot less technical, but big water. So a little of everything, looking good.
And so we shoved off back into Daddy's Creek. The water level was substantially higher, and there was a lot more push to the river. That would be the theme for the trip. Each day it got bigger and better and more fun. And as usual, one by one we slid into the river, and then warmed up with surfing or ferries, catching eddies, peel outs. Really just killing time till everybody was ready to slide off into that low-hanging mist and big water and continue our journey into the Obed.
flying squirrel. Soul surfing. Nice.
The river had lost that deep blue glow, but was no less enchanting as a deep silver, and it was alive this morning. And just as suddenly as it began, the Daddy's Creek Canyon ended. The water settled down. The canyon walls were replaced by forest. The boulders in the river are gone, and there's no more constricted flow. But one thing about a river is that you never know what's around the bend. In this case, around the bend through the heavy mist and rain lies the confluence with the Obed River. And as I've said before, a confluence can be a powerful thing. Sometimes it's a beginning, and sometimes it's an end. In this case, it was neither. It was just part of the journey. But it did mark a significant change in the adventure. As the canyon walls would return, the water would be faster and the rapids would be bigger. But as I sat drifting through the mist on Daddy's Creek, I wanted to take a couple minutes to remember this place.
right, so Kirk is going to take us up here to Dead Dog Falls. There's a story behind the name. Everyone's looking good today. Perfect weather. You're not going to get sunburnt. Right? I think we're going to go up here and eat some lunch.
Beautiful. Between here and that upper fall,
I got you.
And so we took a nice little hike off the river up the Cumberland Trail, and on a side trail that's not fully developed that led over to Dead Dog Falls. It was an amazing backdrop for a lunch, and the beauty was incredible. And as unforgettable and as big as this adventure had been thus far, it was about to get a lot bigger. A few peaceful moments under a waterfall hidden in the canyon rim, and a few paddle strokes around a bend in a river are all that stands between us and the Obed.